it's Tasha. I'm MAMABEAR prepping. So I'm doing this a little bit different. It's evening time right here. I just got back from the grocery store. Wanted to just share a thought of mine and kind of share my experience that happened at the grocery store. You know, I keep hearing, just like everybody else, in 3 days, in 2 days, something's going to happen. And people keep alluding to, a dollar crash. Some people are alluding to some sort of economic collapse. Some people are alluding to, because the deadline, it lines up with the railroad stuff. And so I just have a heaviness on my heart as of the last couple of days. My in-laws just left, and I kind of got this feeling that, okay, Tasha, it's time to get back to food preservation, get back to what I was doing, right? Just normal stuff that I knew I was going to get back to. But I have an urgency, and I have an urgency. I was like, something told me, go to the store today, just stock up on your weekly stuff, right? Your bread, your eggs, your milk, juices, just our weekly kind of fresh stuff, right? Got some more frozen vegetables, and we just needed a few things. And of course, did some Christmas shopping for gifts. I'm not doing a whole lot. I'm really keeping it low key this year for Christmas. I'm making a ton of gifts that are actually going to be sent out, but I bought a few things, right? Very simple things. Bought some stocking stuffers, that type of stuff. And I'm in line, and mind you, I have a pretty good size haul, if you will, right? I'm standing there, the lady's like, yeah, you got some Christmas shopping and some food stuff, and I was like, yeah. And then I see she is behind me loading up the conveyor with children's Tylenol, and that's another reason why I wanted to go to the store, because this was the Walmart that was out of stuff just a few days ago. And so I wanted to check that out for myself. And indeed, there was a lot of stuff out, but there was something there, right? And she's loading up the conveyor belt with like 10 children's Tylenol, 10 this, right? And so I'm thinking, and I was just there, so I know there's not some super sale going on, right? And so I always wait for people to talk to me, right? I don't go out of my way to be like, oh, you got a lot there, right? Because I think it's rude. And she looks up and she's like, did you know that there's not medicine right now in Canada? And my son can't find medicine in Canada right now. And I'm getting this to send it to him. I was like, she's just a regular old lady. Son can't find it in Canada, and she was stocking up so she could send it. And mind you, and I said, oh, make sure you get some for yourself, because there's states here that were having shortages. I said, just a few days ago, this store had a shortage and people were panicked. And she was like, oh, really? And I was like, yes, ma'am. And then her husband comes, and I hear her telling her husband, and I'm at the end of my process and I'm leaving. But it shows you that people are talking, families are talking, and that's what it kind of comes down to, right? Your preps, what you have, what you stacked, what can you share, what can you help somebody get. It was the same thing with the baby formula, right? When there were shortages, you had mothers on websites, fathers on websites, like bargaining back and forth what they had, what they could trade, all of that stuff. And so it's no different, right? And so you have this old lady who was buying medicine to be able to send it to her son who needed it for his children in Canada. And I just dropped a little bit of nugget on her to get her thought process of, that could happen here, it is happening here, and by the way, it happened here in this store a couple days ago. People were losing their minds, right? And so I hear her, telling her husband what I had just said, and I bounce. And I say all this to say the point of folks that are stockpiling, I know it's stressful. I know it's overwhelming. I know sometimes you have people who say hurtful things to you, like you're a hoarder, or you're hoarding stuff. That's why there's shortages. If there's shortages, it's your fault. All these things, these negative things. And I would say, shut that out. Shut out the noise and focus on what you need to do. And understand that when people are like, don't you think you have enough? Like, no, I do not think I have enough. Okay, because you're going to have people or even family members that might see you have something and have a certain amount, and they're like, wow, no wonder there's shortages. You have 6 bottles of that, right? the thing that I want to make at the point to you is that 6 bottles might be nothing, not even a dent in what will be needed. And your preps, anything that you have, whether you've been doing this for a day, a month, several years, you're going to use your preps. You are absolutely going to use this stuff. And I've used examples in other videos, right, of folks that have used their preps. I used the example of my own family last cold and flu season, right? You have to keep buying that stuff because you go through a big battle with something in one of those areas and you're using. And before you know it, your little stockpile dwindles down to very little, if not any at all. And then now you found yourself, scrambling because you've used it. You're gonna use this stuff. You're stockpiling stuff, oh, I'm never gonna eat all this rice, or we're never gonna eat this stuff. You are, right? And you're going to be thankful that you have that food to fall back on, that basic staple to fall back on, that you can make mini meals around, is a bartering food, is a great food for feeding a big group of people. I mean, it's going to be amazing, and it's good, because this is the thing. Some people say, well, what happens I get old and then all that stuff goes to waste? No, you leave it to somebody, leave it to a family member, leave it to a friend, leave it to a colleague, leave it to somebody who's going to use it and going to appreciate what you've done over the decades, over the years, and going to take that generational wealth and keep it moving, right? Maybe you don't use some of those preps, but in my world, my family members will use those. My friends will use it. My colleagues, right? With whoever I'm talking to, for this little old lady in the store, she was getting this stuff and stockpiling it and getting it for her son, And I have no idea if she was doing that for herself or he said something and she said, I got you. And she went to the store and she was able to get it. But imagine if just a few days ago, when people were going to 3 and 4 stores in my little town and couldn't get children's Tylenol, and they were freaking out. They were freaking out on the workers in the stores. They were unhinged. They were upset, right? Like, how dare there not be Tylenol in here? How dare there not be children's medicine here? And mind you, there is some now, probably because somebody panicked and was like, we've got to get this wherever we can get it, right? And they were able to, and maybe the timing was great, right? This lady was able to stockpile a little bit, right? But I tell you what, it might not always be that way. And those instances is why we do this. A child has a fever, and I'm not talking about all the different things you can do for holistic reasons, but a child has a fever, you reach for that children's Tylenol or whatever it is, right? And you don't have it. You need it in that moment that child has a fever. Nobody cares if you're going to have the money for it next week, or you're going to be able to go to the store, the town over, and get it next week. Like, nobody cares if the store is going to have it tomorrow. You need the medicine in that very moment that your child has a fever, right? So it's very, very important to just think these things through. The medicine stuff is not going away. I think you're going to have moments where, it gets restocked and it's going to be fine, and you'll keep it pushing, but be careful. I went today to take a look myself, right? Got me they sell Equate, the generic 2-pack of ibuprofen and the generic 2-pack of Tylenol, or generic Tylenol, right? The pain reliever. I get both. I got a box of both. They're fairly cheap. They're about $4 or $5 for a 2-pack, and each bottle has, I think, 500. And mind you, it's generic, but it gets the job done, right? And you've got to have this stuff. I shouldn't say you got to have this stuff. Okay, so for all you holistic people that are like, no, it's drugs in your body, I understand your point of view as well. Okay, but it's important, very, very important, to be thinking about having the ability and having the option or choice, right? It's different when you have a choice of, yes, you have some holistic stuff and you have some over-the-counter stuff, and you can play with stuff and have a choice of what you can do or what you can implement, right? But some stuff might be pretty bad to where the pain is so bad and you need to implement maybe something over-the-counter just help you get over the hump, okay? So I had a beautiful day, got some little gifts done, got stockpiled, had to get that egg layer feed, right? These chickens about to start laying eggs as early as the 11th of this month. So just a few days from now, that will be like the 16th week. is the 11th, and then, you know, going into the end of the month in January to the 20th week. So we'll see. Got my little ceramic eggs in the box. We'll see if we get eggs soon. Very, very excited. I hope that I bought my last store-bought eggs today. I hope that's it. And we're super excited about that, right? Bought them some treats, bought the dog some treats. I think I'm going to do a video. Let me know if you, on the other channel, I think I'm going to put it, it's going to be a video of making some dog treats. I want to make some dog treats, but let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in watching on the other channel, me making some homemade dog treats. So let me know. I hope you guys are doing well. Got my Christmas tree. My angel started to fall off. I had a black angel up there and she fell off yesterday, and I have to fix the top because I didn't really have her seated correctly. So I got to get up there and fix her. I'm so lazy. Getting ready to do some stuff in the backyard as far as getting my privacy trees in, and then starting to plant my batches of different medicinal stuff. More of the hardy, evergreen type stuff that will do okay right now in the winter, and then the rest of the stuff will just wait until I get closer to spring to kind of get it started. But things are coming along here, and Christmas is going to be very low key. Let me know too, what are you guys cooking for Christmas? Give me some ideas. We're just trying to I'm thinking about making panini, but I don't know. That might be too much, right? We're trying to keep it pretty low key. So take care, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Take care. Bye.